Hey programmers, Alvin here. Right now let's go over LeetCode number 20, the valid parentheses problem. So in this problem, you're going to be given some string of different kinds of parentheses. So that'd be your curly braces, your straight up round parentheses, and also your square brackets. What we want to do here is return a Boolean indicating whether or not we have a set of valid parentheses. In other words, if things match up properly. For this particular input, we would want to return true because we do have all of our different types of parentheses matched up. Let's go over another example like this one. In this one, it's pretty clear to see that we should return false here. This is not a valid set of parentheses. Let me show you how we can try to match things up. So we have the outer curly braces here, we have some square brackets there, we have one set of parentheses here, but then over here, we have a mismatch, and that's why we return false. And of course, there are other ways to have invalid parentheses. For example, look at this input. You can see that it's pretty incomplete, right? We can match up those inner round parentheses, then we have like a dangling opening curly brace here, which is also invalid, so that's why we return false. This is a very classic interview problem. Let's go over the algorithm here. The key to victory for this one is to use the stack data structure. Now just recall, a stack is a data structure where you add things to the top of the stack and also remove things from the top of a stack, right? So it would look sort of like this. I'll just use this yellow line to indicate the bottom of my stack, and you just stack things up vertically, adding to the top and also removing from the top. What we'll see during this algorithm is that we're going to use the stack to act as our memory. In other words, it's going to help us remember what types of symbols we've seen previously. That way you can match things up properly. So we're going to start by iterating through each character of the string. And we want to check what kind of character we have. In other words, is it an opening parenthesis or a closing parenthesis? And so here I have an opening curly brace. And what that means is I want to store that information on my stack so I can remember it for later. And what's really helpful here is when you actually store items onto your stack, you want to store the same type of symbol, but the closing version, right? So it's very specific here. I just saw an opening curly brace. And so on my stack, I'm actually storing a closing curly brace. Now I just move to my next iteration. I have an opening parenthesis. So what I want to do is store a closing parenthesis on my stack. Again, next iteration, I have an open parenthesis. So I store another closing parenthesis on my stack. Now here's where things get interesting. On this next iteration, I see a closing parenthesis. And instead of adding something to my stack, whenever you see a closer, what you want to do is remove something from the top of the stack. The top of the stack matches the closing character I'm iterating through right now, so I can just remove it, right? Because I just matched it up. I go on to my next iteration. I have another closing parenthesis. And I see that it matches what's at the top of my stack, so I can just remove it, and it's okay. What you'll notice is, as we run this algorithm, whatever items are on the stack, that means that they haven't been matched up with their closing pair yet. In other words, at this point of the algorithm, I actually matched up all of these 4 parentheses in green, but I actually didn't yet match up this one curly brace. That's why it's still present on the stack. So I keep running my algorithm. Go on to the next iteration. I see an opening square bracket. And remember, whenever we see an opener, you want to store something onto the stack. So I'm going to store a closing square bracket on the stack. Go on to the next iteration. Now I see a closing square bracket, so I want to remove from the top of my stack because I just matched it up. Finally, last iteration, I see a closing curly brace, and that does indeed match the top of my stack, so I just remove from the top of my stack. At this point, I'm done iterating through my string, and my stack is empty, so that tells me that I've just validated this string. It's true that I have a valid string of different parentheses. All right, so that's like the happy case of the algorithm, right? That's where we had an input string that is valid. Let's see a few ways where we want to validate it as false. So let's say we had this input string. So I'm going to start iterating through my string. I'm going to start with this opening parenthesis. Because I have an opener, I store a closing parenthesis on my stack. Next iteration, have another opening parenthesis, so I add another closer on my stack. Now I see a closer, and it does match what's on the top of my stack, so I can just pop it off and remove it. Now on this iteration, I see another closer, but it's a closing square bracket. It does not match what's on the top of my stack, right? So here I have a square, but here I have the round one. This difference indicates that there's a mismatch. So I could just immediately return false, right? It's not the case that this string is valid. Great, let's go over another example. Here I have another obviously invalid scenario, but it works a little differently. So when I start iterating, I see an opening, so I add it to my stack. I see a closer, so I pop it from my stack, and then I see another closer, right? It's a closing square bracket. And so I would want to remove something from the top of my stack. My stack is already empty. Again, that means I have a type of mismatch. It's really like I have a missing pair. So I do want to return false here, right? My string is invalid. Let's go over a final example. Really the opposite case. So let's start iterating through the string. I have my opening square bracket, I have my opening curly brace. I see my closing curly brace so I can pop from my stack. And now here, I hit the end of my string. Notice that I still have something on my stack though. If you finish iterating through your string, but your stack is not empty, then you have a missing pair. So you still want to return false here, right? By the end of the algorithm, if you have a valid string, your stack should be totally empty. So be sure to do that check at the end of your algorithm. And we'll see that as we code it up. So overall, what's the complexity of this code? If we say that n is the length of the input string, the time complexity here is just O of n. The n comes from the fact that we had to iterate through each character of the input string. Right? On every iteration, we did do some operations, but luckily they're constant. Mainly, we pushed items to the top of the stack, which runs in constant time, and we also popped items from the top of the stack, which also runs in constant time. So those don't actually multiply our complexity here. So just O of n time. Our space complexity here is also going to be O of n from, of course, what we stored on the stack. All right, so let's go over the implementation for this. To get going, I'm going to just create a data structure that I can use to reference my different matching symbols. So I'll just call it matching symbol. And what I'll do is I'll make this a hash map, or in my case, a Python dictionary. I want to have all the different symbol types here. So here it is fleshed out. You'll notice that I have everything paired up. So I have my parentheses, my square brackets, as well as my curly braces. That just gives me a really easy way to check that I have the right correspondence here. I'm also going to create my stack, which in most languages is just going to be your array structure. So I'll create a list in Python, make it empty to begin. Great. Now let me start iterating through every character of my string. So I'll say for char in my string s. Great. Now what I want to do is check what type of symbol I have. In other words, do I have an opener or a closer? You'll notice that for my hash map over here, the keys are the opening symbols. So if I check for my character within this dictionary, it would basically tell me if I have an opener. So what I'll do is I'm going to check if my character is in matching symbol. So if it exists as a key in matching symbol, that means it's an opener. And like we said in the whiteboard, what we want to do is push something onto the stack. We want to push the corresponding closing character onto the stack. So for me, I'll do stack.append. That just adds to the top of my stack here. And I want to push the corresponding character, right? So let's say that the current thing I'm iterating through is an opening paren, right? What I want to do is push a closing paren. So I'm going to key into my matching symbol dictionary. If I key in using that same character, this will evaluate to the corresponding value. So I would be putting the closing paren on the stack. Great. So this is checking if I have a opening symbol. If I enter this else statement, then it means I have a closing symbol. So I want to potentially pop something from my stack, right? So what I'll do is I'll actually check what's at the top of my stack. So I'm going to check if the top of my stack. So depending on your programming language, you might have to write this a little differently. Because I'm in Python, I can always check the last element of a list, or in this case, the top of my stack, by doing stack -1, right? If you were writing it more manually, then you would do things like, length of stack -1. This would always refer to the last element of your array or the top of your stack in this case. But I'm going to write it in the Pythonic way. So remember that if we enter this else statement, that means we have a closing symbol. We want to make sure that that closing symbol matches the top of our stack. So actually, if it's not equal, if the closing symbol does not match the top of our stack, well, then we have a mismatch. So we can immediately return false. It's not the case that our string contains valid parens. There's also another possibility for returning false. It would also be invalid if our stack is actually already empty. So you could just check if the length of your stack is equal to 0. So if that's also the case, then you want to return false. I'm going to write it the Pythonic way. So I can say if not stack. That would just check if the stack is empty. Or the top of the stack mismatches, then I return false. Great. And so if neither of these conditions are true, then that means I actually have a match. So you could just write else. You want to pop the top of your stack. So stack.pop. That would remove the last element of your stack. Great. And like we said in the whiteboard, the really key thing to do is after you're done iterating through your entire string, it's not automatically going to be the case that your string is valid. What you also need to check is if your stack is actually empty. So if the stack is empty, this evaluates to true. If the stack is not empty, this evaluates to false. Let's go ahead and give this a test run. And there we have it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoy my teaching style, then I think you'll love my full Data Structures and Algorithms course at Structy.net. At Structy.net, I've designed a beginner-friendly DSA course that is way more effective than just grinding LeetCode. The truth is, like you've probably felt, LeetCode is not a great platform for learning algorithms because there's a steep learning curve and the explanations are all over the place. But in my course, I've designed each problem so that it builds on top of the last, so you'll really feel the progression. The best part is, I'll be there to explain each problem using the same clear animations and code walkthroughs that you saw in this video. So if you want to prep for your interviews without the frustrating LeetCode grind, then head to Structy.net. You can start for free today. I'll leave a link in the video description if you're interested. I'll see you there.